Howdy do, y'all. This is John, and today we're here talking about Americana, a movie recently released on VOD, and I think maybe still playing in some theaters. And in Americana, it deals with this group of people, this young lady, her partner, I think you could call him, steals this rare American Indian shirt, and she ends up stealing it herself, and the next thing she knows, everyone is after her because this shirt is worth a lot of money, including some, I think, American Indian terrorists. Some of the people they compared themselves with were, so I'm gonna assume that. Okay, so to get things started, first and foremost, what I liked about the movie, which I'm going to admit is not a lot. The first thing is that the acting, I will admit, is very good. Halsey plays the lead character. She did good. Kind of surprised me a little bit because I only know her from music, and I'm not a big fan of her music. But as far as acting goes, she did not do a bad job. Sydney Sweeney is good. She plays one of the people, chasing Halsey to get the shirt and make a lot of money selling it. She's a good actress. I know she's most famous for her looks. I ain't gonna complain about that department, but in terms of her actual acting skills, I think she is very underappreciated, and she has shown a lot of talent over the years, and I hope she gets some recognition for that. She's a talented actress, and all the other actors do a good job. I will admit, no Oscar-worthy performances, nothing that crazy, but they all do a good job. In terms of the story, it's kind of a neat idea, but it's ruined by a bunch of modern Hollywood bullcrap. I'll get to that later. But like I said, it is a neat idea because there's multiple different factions fighting over this shirt, which was worth millions of dollars. And, at the end of the day, the main character, she just wants to be left alone. Now, getting into my issues with the movie, the film, I think, is supposed to be Hollywood's answer to a lot of people's, desire to see rural Americana properly represented in a movie. But, and this is coming from someone who lives in rural Americana, it hardly really represents rural Americana. It represents more of a Hollywoodized, woke version of rural Americana. Yes, you see the occasional "Let's Go Brandon" flag, which you do see in real life rural Americana. But what you don't see or hear in real life rural Americana is people talking about how wrong cultural appropriation is. You don't hear that here from anybody, regardless of what skin color they are. You don't hear that from anybody over here. Everyone's just more interested in, going to rodeos, watching, bull riding, stuff like that. The closest to woke you'll hear out here is people talking about, gun calibers. That is it. There's also some hypocrisy at display because we all know how the woke world goes. It's very hypocritical. But there's this one faction of American Indians who are after the shirt because cultural stuff. And, they sit there and go, these people are not you mindless, savage barbarians, blah, blah, blah. And they're also depicted as mindless, savage barbarians in the movie. Yeah, I'm sorry, Hollywood, but if you're trying to make the argument that American Indians are not mindless, savage barbarians, don't depict them as terrorists. Depict them as normal human beings, which I have encountered a few that were just normal human beings. Cool people. That kind of stuff, not savage, mindless barbarians. Like, what are you thinking? Actions speak louder than words. Now that I've done my rant about, the hypocrisy and the fact that they completely misrepresent rural Americana, how's the movie from an execution point? It's boring. It's a very uneventful movie. There's not a lot going on in the first half of the movie, and then in the second half, there's supposed to be more stuff going on, but there really isn't. It's not until like the very end of the movie before something, serious goes on, and when that happens, it's kind of poorly executed. As far as the characters go, the only ones worth mentioning are this guy named Lefty and this girl helping him named Peggy, I think her name is. Peggy's played by Sydney Sweeney, and the two, they're dynamic together. This was actually strongly written. I liked it. And I liked Lefty and Peggy as characters. Unfortunately, they're not the main character. They are small supporting characters. And when they're not on screen, you miss them because you're constantly being told to root for this character who has very little personality. And the only thing about her worth mentioning is her son. Her son who thinks he's the reincarnation of Sitting Bull. That's the only thing about Halsey's character worth mentioning. The only other element of character development she kind of gets is she apparently was once stuck in this religious cult, and it's... how else should I put this? The religious cult idea is very mentally handicapped and, just an outright bad idea. I'm not saying what's going on in there is, not wrong, because it is wrong, but just the overall idea of it is a bad idea. Especially think that now because of something that happened a couple weeks ago in the real world. Really screwed up crap. And as far as like the music choices, for a while, I thought the music choices were good. Nice country songs, which you hear country out here all the time. But then they put in this rap song, and I'm just in there thinking to myself, what the heck? Where do you hear that out here? It's weird. So guys, at the end of the day, Americana, the movie idea itself is not a bad idea, and the acting's actually good. But everything else they did to the movie, from the woke Hollywood politics to just everything else, boring execution, bad characters, except for the two. And at the end of the day, I cannot really recommend this film because it's just not good. I'm going to give Americana a 2. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Please look forward to more videos real soon. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Please also subscribe if you're new to the channel. And as per usual, please remember, but it's skew.